Please be seated. Good evening. First of all, what a beautiful evening. Unbelievable. It is with great pride that I welcome you to the 42nd graduation ceremony of Shawnee Mission East High School. I'm Angie Kokolas, principal of Shawnee Mission East, and as a high school principal, there is no greater reward and thrill to see his students receive their diplomas. Our purpose this evening is to recognize and honor each and every member of the class of 2000. This class is very special to me. It seems like yesterday when we first met as newcomers to Shawnee Mission East while the bond project was just in progress. And I'm very proud of your accomplishments, and I'm honored to be your principal. Tonight, our first speaker is Ms. Hope Elizabeth Carnes. During her years at Shawnee Mission East, Hope has been involved in a variety of school activities. She is a member of the National Forensics League, 3-year debate letter winner, Quill and Scroll Journalistic Honor Society, National Beta Club, Spanish National Honor Society, and National Honor Society. She is a recipient of the Brown University Book Award, the Kansas Honor Scholar, the Crowell Book Award, and was recognized as one of the 30 distinguished student volunteers in the metropolitan area by the Volunteer Center of Johnson County. Hope will be attending Washington University in St. Louis in the fall. Please welcome Ms. Hope Elizabeth Carnes.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, proud parents, grandparents, and future Lancers. It is with great honor that I may welcome you here this evening to the graduation ceremony for Shawnee Mission East's Class of 2000. The distinguished occasion for which we gather tonight marks the culmination of 4 years of high school, 4 very important years in the lives of the 454 young men and women you see seated before you. Throughout those 4 years, these graduating seniors have experienced their share of exhilarating moments, as well as a few instances of defeat. They witnessed times of assimilation, as well as movements towards defiance. They sought shelter in the halls of their familiar school building and comfort in the voices of their teachers and friends. And through it all, they looked forward to that one day when they could call themselves senior high school students. That day has come, and the year has quickly passed. Tonight, as we look back upon our experiences at Shawnee Mission East, we are reminded of those individuals who helped us through the tough times and who praised us through the good. And we are honored that our families, friends, teachers, and school district officials could share this momentous occasion with us. On behalf of the senior class, I extend my welcome to all.
Tonight we'll hear from 2 members of the senior class. Speaking will be Miss Wendy Marilyn Henson and Miss Catherine Quinlan Peterson. Wendy has been involved in a wide variety of school activities. She's a member of National Honor Society, has been involved with Habitat for Humanity and Harvesters, and is a member of the Shawnee Mission East Forensics Squad. Wendy is a recipient of the 3-year scholarship pin, President Education Award, and the Columbia University Book Award. Wendy will be attending Northwestern University in the fall. Please welcome Miss Wendy Marilyn Henderson.
Born in the early 80s, we, the class of 2000, arrived on the shoulders of history, ready to stand as a testament to generations past, generations defined by economic hardship, world wars, and efforts to contain communism. Because of their work, we were granted a great and complex gift, the freedom to define ourselves. To the masses, we remain unnamed. But freedom can be an unnerving thing. To the credit of gains made in generations past, history has not dealt us black and white defining moments such as the Great Depression, Vietnam, or an intense period of communist threat. Instead, society has thrown down the gauntlet for us to continue where past generations left off, come forth from the black and white. And to you, I say this: we have begun. In our own school, we have already taken steps towards defining ourselves not as the nothing generation, but as the generation of action, a generation ready and willing to carry on in the community what we've inherited. World War II marked the end of the Great Depression and the beginning of economic stability, but we have continued to reach out year after year to those in need of extra help, building habitat houses, hosting school-wide holiday celebrations for Franklin Center, and participating in area fundraisers. We weren't yet born when the 50s and 60s saw the height of the civil rights movement, but we have continued the fight for acceptance of diversity, annually holding Diversity Week, as well as participating in the Unitown program and holding East's own variation, hoping to appreciate diversity within our own walls. The torch of past generations is being carried. With gained experience, wisdom, vision, and integrity, we emerge as representatives of a generation that was given a difficult task, defining itself, yet we were and are prepared. Stuco and share leaders emerged, and we took action. As we leave East and take our place in the universities, armed services, the workplace, and our own communities, more leaders will come forth. Of the men and women of the 30s and 40s, Franklin Delano Roosevelt once commented, "This generation of Americans has a rendezvous with destiny." For them, history defined their destiny. As for us, we will define our destiny ourselves. We've already begun. It's in our hands.
Our next speaker will be Ms. Catherine Quinlan Peterson. Kate has been active in volunteer work and school activities. She's a member of the National Honor Society, National Forensics League, National Marketing Education Award winner, and state qualifier in informational speaking. She has attended the DECA Leadership Conferences, president of the economics class, junior achievement, and chairperson for AIDS Walk 2000. She'll be attending the University of Kansas in the fall. Please welcome Ms. Catherine Quinlan Peterson.
Good evening. I'd like to begin by reading to you all a famous poem by Robert Fulghum entitled, "All I Really Need to Know I Learned in Kindergarten." Share everything. Play fair. Don't hit people. Put things back where you find them. Clean up your own mess. Don't take things that aren't yours. Say you're sorry when you hurt somebody. Wash your hands before you eat. Flush. Warm cookies and cold milk are good for you. Live a balanced life. Learn some and think some, and draw and paint and sing and dance and play and work every day some. Take a nap every afternoon. When you go out into the world, watch for traffic, hold hands, and stick together. Be aware of wonder. Remember the little seed in the styrofoam cup. The roots go down and the plant goes up, and nobody really knows how or why, but we are all like that. Remember that goldfish and hamsters and white mice and even the little seed in the styrofoam cup, they all die. So do we. And then remember the Dick and Jane books and the first word you learned, the biggest word of all, look. As I look back at the guidelines given by Robert Fulghum, our times here at East have contradicted these simple principles of life. In doing so, we've chosen to view the rules differently and have created our own rendition of his poem. All I really need to know I learned in high school by the graduating class of 2000. Share everything, except your boyfriends. Play fair, unless it's the wiffle ball championship in weights. Don't hit people, unless you're fighting for the last batch of Otis Spunkmeyer cookies. Put things back where you found them, but when you find a smile, give it to someone else. Clean up after yourself, but if Mr. Prawl is on duty in the cafeteria, you're home free. Don't take things that aren't yours, unless it's your friend's blue pass and you've really got to go. Say you're sorry when you hurt somebody, but sometimes a parking spot is worth it. Wash your hands before you eat. School's a messy job. Think of the fetal pig in biology. Eating doesn't mix. Flush. Freshmen work best. Warm cookies and cold milk are good for you, especially at 3 a.m. the night before your senior paper is due. Live a balanced life. Some crookedness is expected after carrying 50 pounds on your back for 4 years. Take a nap every afternoon. It will improve your nightlife. When you go out into the world, watch for I love yous and I'm sorries. An overabundance of these lacks sincerity. Be aware of wonder. Remember your friends and your enemies, and how at any moment one may become the other. Remember that grade school, middle school, and even high school, they all come to an end. But what we take with us is all we really need to know. As I listen to the advice given in both of these poems, I realize how much is really gained through our education. It is not the textbook answers we take with us, but the common sense, visions, opinions, morals, and individuality that shape us into who we are. Though we've learned of algebraic equations, chemical reactions, and the Spanish and Indian War, it is the life lessons that we will truly cherish. The experiences and challenges of high school are what gave us the discipline, motivation, and courage we needed. We can now step foot into not the real world, but our world, a world we now understand and appreciate, a world we are now worthy to be a part of. We have the capability to be whoever we want, to do whatever we feel, to go out into society with our eyes open and our minds overflowing with knowledge. It's as if our blinders have been removed, and we have Shawnee Mission East to thank for that. We have our teachers, our friends, and our acquaintances to credit for giving us the strength needed to start our lives. But we have ourselves to applaud for making it this far. We are at a turning point, and together we can look back and enjoy the memories and the great times we've shared. But each one of us must move on as a single person striving to succeed. We are the class of 2000. Move aside, here we come.
At this time, I would like to acknowledge a graduating senior, Valerie Close, a Shawnee Mission Scholarship recipient who is having surgery today. She will not be with us. We're hoping things will work out okay for her. Also, unfortunately, as we go through our lives, we experience the loss of many friends and family. At this time, I ask for a moment of silence for graduating senior Corey Hendrickson Sullivan. Thank you. In the lives of the graduates we recognize and honor this evening is the culmination of efforts which have spanned 13 years from kindergarten through 12th grade. The fact that these young people are in a position to be awarded a high school diploma is a tribute to many people. Certainly a key group of such people are the teachers and administrators and other educators who have worked with these students from kindergarten through their senior year. This evening, we want to take a moment to recognize educators who have had the privilege and the responsibility to help these graduates develop their educational portion of their lives. Representing the elementary schools and middle schools in the East area are 4 special guests seated on the stage this evening. From the elementary schools, I am pleased to introduce Dr. Joy Torgerson, the principal of Prairie Elementary School. Dr. Torgerson. Mr. Joe Palmer, principal of Corinth Elementary School. Joe. Representing the middle schools are Mrs. Charlotte Sands, principal of Mission Valley Middle School. Charlotte? And Mr. Jim Wink, principal of Indian Hills Middle School. Jim? Let's give them all a round of applause and show them their appreciation for all their hard work. Representing the high school, educators are 5 special people. They are individuals who are retiring this year. Together they represent 153 years of service to the children of this community. Some are on stage with us tonight, and the others preferred to be among the students. And as I say their names, I would like them to stand up, please. Mrs. Mary Ann Bowen. Just give her a round of applause. Mr. John Harity. Where's John? Mr. Glenn Percy. Coach, where are you? Wave your arms. I believe he's up in the stands. Counselor, Mr. David Wolf. Dave? And our librarian, Mrs. Jan Wood. Jan? Where's she? Oh, there she is. Wait. Let's have a big round of applause for these wonderful teachers. For the 3rd year in a row, we are recognizing outstanding former graduates of Shawnee Mission East. We look forward to recognizing many more in the years to come. In the future, maybe some will come from this graduating class of 2000. I would like to now introduce Dr. Arthur Newcomer, former athletic director and associate principal of Shawnee Mission East with more than 30 years of service. He will introduce our current Hall of Fame recipient. Let's give a warm welcome to Dr. Art Newcomer.
The first person to be selected for the Shawnee Mission East Hall of Fame in the new millennium is Dr. Judith Stitt, a 1963 graduate of Shawnee Mission East High School. Dr. Stitt received her undergraduate and graduate medical degree from the University of Kansas in 1971, and later served as a professor of radiology oncology at the KU Medical Center. Dr. Stitt also served as a professor at Wayne State University and the University of New Mexico Medical Colleges. Dr. Stitt most recently was a professor in human oncology at the University of Wisconsin and director of the Women's Health Care Clinic. She served on the United States Nuclear Regulatory Commission and was instrumental in obtaining a $1.8 million grant from the United States Health Service to establish a National Center of Excellence in Women's Health in Madison, Wisconsin, in which she later was Director of Clinical Services. It is indeed a pleasure to induct Dr. Judith Stitt into the Shawnee Mission East Hall of Fame posthumously. Here to represent her family is her brother, Dr. Ronald Stitt, a 1967 graduate of Shawnee Mission East.
Thank you, Dr. Newcomer, members of the faculty and the Board of Education. I crossed this stage in 1967. My sister crossed it in 1963. I return tonight as a person entrusted with her memory. I was very moved to discover that Judy was to be honored by you. Ewing Kaufman attributed a great part of his success to luck. For most of us, that is true, but for my sister's success was due to her will, her astonishingly hard work, and her cheerfulness. Above all else, Judy excelled at being a teacher and a mentor. She had such faith in the abilities of the doctors she taught that one of them administered the treatment for her leukemia. Because she believed in mentoring, she established a foundation to encourage women to excel in academic medicine. In keeping with what my sister believed in, and because her family loved her so very much, we are establishing a scholarship to begin in 2001 for the senior woman who best represents a combination of science and extracurricular achievement. Of all of the awards Judy received, this would have meant the most to her, and I thank you very much. I would also say that Judy would tell you Catherine Peterson was absolutely right. You learned everything important you needed to know in kindergarten. Thank you very much.
We'd like this to present to Dr. Stead in her behalf. Thank you.
Dr. Marjorie Kaplan, Superintendent of Schools for the Shawnee Mission School District, will present a red honor card to the graduates, the diploma candidates for the National Baccalaureate, International Baccalaureate. The International Baccalaureate Diploma Program is a 2-year rigorous pre-university course of study leading to the examinations in 6 curricular areas. Also incorporated in the program is a requirement of 150 hours of community service and a requirement of a 4,000-word original research project done outside the normal course of study. Shawnee Mission East is proud to have 10 students who have completed the required components and are awaiting the results. They will be announced in July. Dr. Marjorie Kaplan will present the red honor cords with Dr. Mersch, who is the IB coordinator and the associate principal. Will the following students please come forward? Diana Tahira Ashru. Richard Bouchard. Caitlin Dana Gallblum. Ryan David Hines. Hope Elizabeth Carnes. Daniel Dwiggins Lesh. Christopher Wayne Meyer, Ling Zhao Wang, Charlie Hannah Wilder, and David Wu. Big round of applause for our International Baccalaureate candidates. At this time, I would ask those students who are to be recognized as recipients of the 4-year scholarship pin to please come to the right-hand side of the stage. As these students are approaching the stage, I'm pleased to review the accomplishments of the class of 2000. During their past 4 years at East, the class of 2000 has achieved a record in which they can be proud. In terms of academic achievement, the class contains 21 students who are National Merit Commended Students and 15 who are National Merit Finalists. 45 class members qualified for recognition at the Kansas State Scholars. 81 class members have been recognized with a Presidential Academic Fitness Award. 5 class members have received a Governor's Scholars Award. Class members have given hundreds of hours to a wide variety of community programs. 36 students have distinguished themselves by receiving a 4-year scholarship pin. To receive such an honor, for the 4th time, a senior must have received 6 semesters of A with no grade lower than B during their senior year. Dr. Joanne Grote, Associate Superintendent, will award the 4-year scholarship pins along with Mr. Jack Prawl, Associate Principal Assistant. Amy Teresa Anderson. Diana Tahira Asheru. Catherine Leah Ayers. Corey McLean Babb. Adrian Nicole Berry. Robert Donald Blaney. Richard Bouchard. Catherine Claire Butterworth. Sarah Larkin Dexter. Kendall Nicolay Dix. Morgan Leigh Funt. Brian John Hall. Allison Grace Heitland. Wendy Marilyn Henderson. Takura J. Enru. Molly Marie Irick. Catherine Gano Jackson. Hope Elizabeth Carnes. Elizabeth Louise Launder. John Patrick Lawler. Jacqueline Elizabeth Litchie. Sarah Elizabeth Lindicum. Stuart Bradford Martins. Abby Rochelle Masonbrink. Christopher Wayne Meyer. Jessica Suzanne Oldham. Jacqueline Nicole Pearson. David Huddleston Powell. Abigail Rose Proffer. Sarah Catherine Robertson. Janaki Neela Sharma. Elizabeth Ann Stevens. Abigail Sweats. Benjamin Clay Williams. Megan Kathleen Wilson. And David Wu. Congratulations, 4-year scholarship pin winners. Out of this group comes the top 10. Special honor cords are presented to the 10 members of the graduating class who have maintained the highest scholarship average during their 4 years at Shawnee Mission East High School. Presenting the honor cords will be Dr. Marjorie Kaplan. Assisting Dr. Kaplan will be Dr. Ron Mersch, Associate Principal. And it should be noted that the presentation will be made in alphabetical order, not in order of class rank. As I read your name, please come forward and receive your honor cord. Diana Tahira Asheru. Tashru. I'm sorry. Richard Bouchard. Allison Grace Heitland. Catherine Gano Jackson. Hope Elizabeth Carnes. John Patrick Lawler. Sarah Elizabeth Litticum. David Huddleston Powell. Janaki Neela Sharma. And Abigail Sweats. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the top 10 students of the graduating class of 2000, Shawnee Mission East High School. Give him another round of applause. Dr. Marjorie Kaplan, Superintendent of Schools of the Shawnee Mission School District, will make the presentation of the class. Accepting the class will be Mrs. Donna Bisfield, Board of Education. Joining Mrs. Bisfield in presenting the diplomas is Mrs. Sue Gamble and Mrs. Jane Pazinski, representing the Board of Education. The reading of the names will be Mr. Sam Brewster, Mr. John Nichols, and Mr. Nick Paris. They are members of the faculty of Shawnee Mission East. In order that our goal of recognizing each graduate, we thank you for your cooperation and refraining from distractions which might prevent a family from hearing a name of their graduate. I appreciate your help. I am pleased to present the Superintendent of the Shawnee Mission School District, Dr. Marjorie Kaplan.
Members of the faculty, administrators, parents, and guests, it is my pleasure to certify that the students who will be receiving their diplomas this evening have passed all the requirements for graduation according to the laws of the state of Kansas and the policies of the Shawnee Mission Board of Education. Thank you.
On behalf of the Shawnee Mission Board of Education, I accept the recommendation of the staff and administration of Shawnee Mission East High School and ask that the members of the class of 2000 present themselves for the presentation of diplomas.
Amy Christine Hornbeck. Charlie Hannah Hipsch Wilder. Andrew W. Smith. Zachary Daniel Dahlman. Hope Elizabeth Carnes. Wendy Marilyn Henderson. Catherine Quinlan Peterson. Elizabeth Joan Boffman. Vera Natasha Ackerley. Monica Marie Ackman. Joshua Minor Adams. Spencer Hanson Adams. Jonathan Douglas Akers. Simon Alder. Dana Charisse Almond. Dawn Adelia Almond. Britt Lindsay Anderson. Amy Teresa Anderson. Bryn Hallie Andrews. Myra Catherine Arellano. Diana Tahera Atashru. Kimberly Renee Alvarez. Peter Neil Dubner Bayless. Gretchen Aline Mortier. Josh Atkinson. Leah Suzanne Atterbury. Justin J. Atwood. Catherine Lee Ayers. Corey McLean Babb. Christopher Paul Backus. Lauren Elizabeth Boehner. Catherine Elizabeth Bale. Jesse Michael Baer. Sarah Louise Barron. Ashley Elizabeth Bass. Rachel Jan Bateman. Robert Stutzman Beatty. Rebecca M. Beatty, Kevin Brett Bechtel, Daniel F. Beckman, Timothy Glenn Bees, Andrea Lee Belden, Spencer Thomas Bell, Wesley David Benson, Anthony Joseph Bergonzoni, Jamie Lynn Berman, Adrian Nicole Berry, Robert Donald Blaney, Matthew Scott Bohannon, Eric Michael Bond, Joel Curtis Bond, Kevin Scott Booker, Erica May Bork, Colin Christopher Boren, Richard R. Bouchard, Nathaniel Douglas Boyce, Adam David Braun, Andrew Joseph Brewer, Allison Nicole Brown, Mark Edric Brown, Rebecca Carolyn Brown, James Dooley Booker, Tahalia Ray Buckley, Sarah Loveland Bennell, Derek Brian Burbank, Susan Eileen Burrington, Catherine Claire Butterworth, Julia Marie Carr, Kimberly Lynn Carty, Patrick Joseph Castile, Lindsay Elizabeth Cavett, Jeffrey David Chapman, Natalie D. Chappelle, Joseph Charles Cerise, James Anthony Clark, Justin Wade Clark, Lee Newman Clark, Michelle Marie Clark, Aaron Lee Clay, Chad LeCoeur Clary, James Andrew Clements, Evan Fletcher Close, Matthew William Coates, Nyan Janice Cole, Jordan Scott Coleman, Christina Michelle Colado, Amy Beth Collins, Ruby Louise Collins, Andrew Scott Conrad, Andrew Glenn Converse, Chad Michael Cook, James Taylor Cook, Scott Armstrong Cook, David William Kuhn, Roland Lee Coppage, Clark Mason Corbin, Justin Allen Cox, Jason Robert Craddock, Spencer D. Chrissy, Leanne Michelle Kreitz, Joseph Gordon Cross, Damon Lee Crouch, Aaron Allen Crowley, Paige Galbraith Crowther, Marcela Duarte D'Alessandro, Philip Mark Danforth, Ian David Dempsey, Adam Perry Dennis, Ann K. Depping, Sarah Larkin Dexter, Rachel M. DiGiovanni, Vu Din Tai, Kendall Nicolay Dix, Patrick McEntee Dodge, Kelly Suzanne Donahue, Nathan Grogine Donley, Claire Elaine Durwood, Timothy Lee Eberhard, Lena Louise Ellerman, Karen Ann Elsperman, Megan Christina Laura Embers, Michael Nash Espinosa, Sean R. Evans, Tristan Mackay Evans, Joseph David Falzone II, Douglas Charles Farchman, Melissa Goodwin Fate, Sarah Dana Fought, Carly Ann Feingold, Jesse Dan Fields, John Allen Flatley, Stephanie Faye Folk, Jeffrey Brian Foote, Patrick Arden Frederick, Gabriel Seth Freeman, Veronica Lee Fugit, Morgan Lee Funk, Andrew Ethan Gagnon, Caitlin Dana Gallblom, Nicholas Roman Garcia, Michael Shane Garrett, Marty Catherine Garrison, Jennifer Neal Gill, John Forrest Gill, Eric Benjamin Gold, June Arden Gall, Gail Lee Gottschalk, Courtney Chrisman Graham, Kelly Ann Griffith, Carrie Sue Griffith, Elizabeth Marie Grunauer,
Jacob Samuel Gunn, Elaine May Hadley, Brian John Hall, Jeffrey Stephen Hall, Catherine Ariel Halpert Zimmerman, Jordan Combs Hamill, Jack Dwayne Haney, Lisa Michelle Hansen, Jennifer Lynn Hargadine, Ashley Teresa Harris, Melissa Grady Harrison, Shinobu Hasagawa, James William Haxton, Leah Ashley Hedrick, Allison Grace Heitland, Joseph Martin Hendrickson, Jacqueline Virginia Henry, Martin Danielle Hernandez, Sarah Winters Hessler, Colin Armin Hess, Andrew Michael Hicks, Joshua Lee Higgins, Mary Frances Elizabeth Higgins, Meredith Maya Hill, Elizabeth Ann Hines, Ryan David Hines, Thomas Francis Hodep, Jennifer Ruth Hoffman, Nicholas Wayne Holcomb, David W. Hooper Jr., Jeffrey Coleman Hooper, Simone Hopf, Matthew Thomas Haran, Robert Eugene Horner, Patrick Evan House, Scott Madison House, Matthew Patrick Howard, Michelle Tanae Howell, Sarah Francis Hubbard, John Stephen Hudacek Jr., Stephanie Davis Hudacek, Hayden Mary Huggins, Stephen Alexander Hull II, Dina Lynn Hutchinson, Andrew Rang. Takuya Inu J. Unawe. Craig David Inselman. Molly Marie Irick. Catherine Gano Jackson. Patrick Seth Jackson. Andrew Joseph James. Jessica B. James. Eli Thornton Jenkins. Renee Lynn Johnson. Dana Yvonne Jones. Matthew Christopher Jones. Sean Michael Jones. Abigail Susan Kahn. Christopher Clark Kalkofen. Michael J. Katzif. Robert George Kaufman. Colleen Marie Kelly. Danny Gerald Kemp Jr. Caroline Lincoln Kempner. Daniel Joseph Kerr. Katie Louise Kerr. Boonlong Bob Kotbunheng. Woo Kim. Shelley Francis King. Kelly Diane Kirby. Andrew Michael Kirk. Monica Christine Kissinger. Zachary William Klein. Cassandra Marie Cleansing. Sarah Elizabeth Knapp. Eric Lewis Knight. Courtney Nicole Knoth. Jennifer Nicole Cook. Lori Helene Copperman. Lori Janine Cronblad. Lindsay Elizabeth Cruzen. Alexandra Neal Keene. Daniela C. Kuna. Aaron Ann Lacey. Olivia Mai Lefebvre. Ruth Evans Lane. Kelly Nicole Larkin. Elizabeth Louise Launder. John Patrick Lawler. Blair Channing Lawrence. Courtney Brooks Lawrence. Adrian Desiree Leach. William Bradford Leffel. Georgia Catherine Lemming. Daniel Dwiggins Lesh. Jeffrey Townsend Lesh. Evan Michael Levine. Jacqueline Elizabeth Lichty. Abby Michelle Liggett. Sarah Elizabeth Linticum. Benjamin C. Long. Bridget Marie Lowry. Ricky Colette Sarah Lucero. Gina M. Lutz. Avron Taylor Mackey. Patrick Ryan Markham. Stuart Bradford Martins. David Russell Martin. Monica Steele Marks. Abby Rachel Masonbrink. Jennifer Nicole Madison. Kevin Michael Maxwell. William Thomas McLean. Mary Carol McCord. Spencer Evan McCroskey. Megan Ray McDonald. George William McDonald III. Matthew Duncan McDougall. Aaron Elizabeth McHugh. Heather Lee McIntyre. Sean Michael McNown. Catherine Elaine McRobbie. Lindsay Rose Medoff. Michael Alexander Meter. Rebecca J. Metzler. Christopher Wayne Meyer. Melanie Marie Meyer. Jane McKnight Miles. Gemini Miller. Julie Christine Miller. Miranda Jean Marie Miller. Rebecca Ann Miller. Mary Elizabeth Brooke Milton. Ryan Michael Mitchell. Sarah Grafe Newcomer Molly Moran. Lauren B. Morrison. Kathleen Marie Morton.
Jennifer Lee Mosley. Victor Leonard Moroso. Chad Oliver Murray. William Dennis Nicely Jr. Elizabeth Claire Nasty. Merritt Okutan. Jessica Suzanne Oldham. Lucas H. Olenek. Lisa A. Osborne. Cynthia Lorraine Ostrander. Brandon Michael Page. Barry Dean Parker. Connor Dawson Partee. Regina Marie Peel. Clayton William Peffer. John Chambers Pendleton. Jessica Marie Penland. Stephen John Peppas. Bridget Ruth Phillips. Jacqueline Nicole Pearson. Joanna Mary Catherine Pitnick. David Huddleston Powell. Eric James Powers. Abigail Rose Proffer. Dang Hai Quach. Elizabeth Quillick. Catherine Maxine Quimby. Andrew Henry Rawls. Christopher John Ramirez. Sarah E. Ratzel. David Walter Rickey. Lauren Alicia Ritter. Sarah Catherine Robertson. Haley Elizabeth Robeson. Micah Rodewig. Christopher Jack Rogers. Megan Elizabeth Rose. Stella A. Ross. Matthew Lee Joseph Royer. Laura Elizabeth Ruddick. Taylor Christian Russell. Laura Michelle Ryan. Courtney Melissa Saphir. Jacqueline Marie Salerno. Kelly Marie Saxton. Douglas Kent Scheibel. Nathan Richard Shaw. Michael Robert Shard. Chloe Catherine Schempf. Elaine Amelia Schmeltz. Jennifer D. Scholl. Fletcher Malcolm Melling Schubert. Nadia Shudak. Courtney J. Sebring. Colin Michael Selders. Kimberly Diane Center. Whitney Lee Schaefer. Janaki Neela Sharma. Nicholas Scott Shepard. Matthew Thomas Schoaf. Taylor Holman Simmerman. Eric Long Simon. Travis Christopher Simon. Jessica Lynn Smith. Kevin Christopher Smith. Timothy J. Smith. Whitney Lee Smith. Michael Whitney Sorensen. Corey Allen Spray. Jessica Reeves Stafford. Amy Elizabeth Stedman. Daniel Patton Steele. Scott David Steele. Aaron Lee Steiner. Elizabeth Ann Stevens. Courtney Aaron Stout. Anna Jean Sweeney. Abigail Victoria Sweats. Eli Solomon Temshin. Malte Tata. Catherine Roxanne Thomas. Abigail Baker Thompson. Benjamin Clark Thompson. Carolyn Elaine Thompson. Catherine Ann Thompson. Laura Ashley Thurn. Melissa Ann Tidmore. Christopher James Titus. Allison Rochelle Toll. Christine Elizabeth Townley. Kathleen Louise Tramposh. Elizabeth Ann Travilant. Anya I. Trechakova. Meredith Holland Triwola. Leslie Ann Tripp. Callista Jean Trombley. Christian Michael Trezzolo. Michael Christopher Turner. Peter Nelson Van Auken. Elizabeth Mary Vaughters. Dorothy Von Stiglitz. Charles Spalding Wagner. Bess Durham Wallerstein. Megan Ida Walter. Nathan Lawrence Walters. Ling Xiao Wang. Natalie Michelle Wardlow. Rebecca Louise Wayland. Spencer Lawrence Weatherholt. Lisa Ann Worley. Rebecca Brooke Weiner. Robert Snyder Wells. Brian Jackson Welty. Joseph Brett White. Kyle Allen White. Lindsay Russell White. Zachary Charles White. Gerald Willis Wilkins. Benjamin Clay Williams. Aaron Elizabeth Williams. Matthew Lovejoy Williams. Celso Enrique Michael Wills. Marissa Anna Rose Wilson. Megan Kathleen Wilson. Brooke Taryn Whitcop. Seth Abram Wolzen. Christopher Padfield Woodbury. David Shichun Wu. Catherine Joan Wyatt. Alan Michael Yedlin. Audrey Michelle Young. Jessica Ann Young. Jeffrey M. Zellen. Christian Robert Zwain.
This evening, the farewell will be given by Miss Elizabeth Joanne Boffman. Elizabeth was a member of SHARE, working on the Habitat House for Humanity and Big Brother and Big Sister program, on the executive board of SAD and All Student Council Executive Board. She was a member of the Shawnee Mission East Lancers swim team, first attendant for homecoming, and she is a member of both the National Honor Society and the Spanish National Honor Society. For the farewell this evening, please welcome Miss Elizabeth Joanne Boffman.
First, I would like to thank all those in attendance this evening. It is an honor to have you all here. It is only with your help and guidance that we have reached this stage in our lives. Before we go, I would like to leave the seniors with one last memory of Shawnee Mission East. As I reminisce to freshman year, I remember how scary it was to walk through the halls. They seemed enormous and overbearing. Everyone appeared to tower over me like giants. As freshmen, it seemed that we tried to get acquainted with as many people as possible, just to be able to wave or even say hi to one smiling face during passing period brightened up our entire day. Through the next 3 stages of our high school career, we built friendships and bonds that will last a lifetime. We're a unit, we are a whole, we are one, but most importantly, we are all Lancers. Even though our class is diverse in its own way, in one sense or another, we are all connected. As we leave here tonight as the graduating class of 2000, I would like all of you to remember that not only are we Lancers, but we came as many, yet we left as one. Thank you.
Okay, will the class of 2000 please stand, please? I don't know where they came from. Okay, it gives me great pleasure to hereby declare you graduates of Shawnee Mission East High School. You may now move your tassels from the right side to the left side of your mortarboard. Okay, senior class. Okay, graduating seniors, if you do this for me, please face the audience this side, face that way, this side, face this way. Board of Education, parents, grandparents, friends, educators, proud relatives, I now present to you the class of the millennium, the 2000 graduating class of Shawnee Mission East High School. Okay. The class of 2000 of Shawnee Mission East Chamber Singers will lead us in a school song. The school song is printed on the inside back cover of your program. After the school song, I would ask the graduates to please be seated until your rows are dismissed by Miss Atkinson and Miss Bowen. I would ask that the audience please stand as the class of 2000 walks together for their final time. The class will walk back to their rooms and receive their diplomas and inserts and return their gowns. Please greet them in the center hall of the Shawnee Mission East South, not in the recessional line. I thank you for your cooperation. And now would everybody please rise for our school song. Chamber singers, if you will. Shawnee Mission, hail to thee, Lancer.